Coming up on this episode of the Mario Rosenstock Podcast.
Do you have anything to sell?
Mario, I just want to sell health. I want to live forever. I want to live forever. No, do you know what, Mario? Do you know what it is? Get up in the morning and wherever how you feel, make it feel better when you go to bed that night.
That's brilliant.
And if you get to 7 o'clock and it's not feeling any better, open a bottle of red wine.
Do you know, a conversation with Roddy Collins is unlike any other conversation you'll have with anyone else. The man is just a tonic. He's funny, emotional, a total open book, and a great storyteller. Roddy joined me here in the studio before when he had just published his memoir, The Rodfather, about the many decades he has spent as a football player, manager and pundit. That was a couple of years back, and so I thought it was high time to invite Roddy back onto the pod to have a catch-up about what he's been up to since then. He's been spending 7 months of the year in Spain. He's proven to be a very popular sports pundit on media because of his outspoken and honest approach. His son has become a professional boxer, and lots more. I didn't know, for example, that he's a really close personal friend of Vinny Jones. So we had a lot to chat about.
Fella comes by in a Jeep too. I was, all right, Rod. How are you, pal? What's the crack? You all right? Yeah. Went in to get your boot last week. Couldn't find it. I said, where were you looking for it? He said, sport. I said, fiction. You were at the wrong... Here's Vinny. Right. Here's how he goes. All right, Rod. Yeah, all right, Vin, what's crack? Way down tomorrow. So nothing really. Okay, there's 2 flights booked for young Caroline. Henry was his driver, chauffeur. Pick you up in Stansted or Luton, and we're going to a party, or we're going to the dogs, or we're going to the races, and you'll be 2 days on the drink.
Jesus.
It was mad. I hit bad times, and I was driving a tiny little Kia, and I was at the traffic lights, and a big Range Rover pulled up beside me, and a sneer in it. Looked at me, hey Collins, you fell off your high horse there, didn't you, pal? I went, yeah, I still get to where I'm getting to. You know, man, I'm up and I'm down and that's it. And I met Paul McGrath, he was playing it, and we're in the Gresham Hotel waiting for the coach to bring us, and Paul gave me a brandy and port. And I said, no, he said, drink it. And I drank it. I scored the best goal he ever scored, and I won a big Magnum of champagne. I said, Paul, if you didn't meet you 20 years ago, I'd have been playing for Man United with you. 2 of us would have been locked.
This was such an enjoyable conversation that all the questions I'd written down for Roddy, I didn't ask him one of them, because when we got into the conversation, he's so present and in the moment. I just roller coastered with him from there and took it from there. The full chat is available in a few minutes' time on this episode of the Mario Rosenstock Podcast. But obviously, as you can imagine, such a preeminent soccer figure as Roddy Collins, there were lots of messages on the Mario Rosenstock hotline. Here they are. Hi, you've reached the Mario Rosenstock Podcast. Please leave a message.
How are you, Mario? It's John Delaney here. I love your podcast, and I know you have Roddy Collins on, and I know Roddy had a few things to say about the FAI in his time, but I've done a bit of soul searching and done a few online courses. I think the time is right now for my return, and I know I'd be able to count on Roddy's support in the FAI. I'm a changed man, and I'd like to discuss it with Roddy, actually. If Roddy wants to, after the podcast, he can come down to Dublin Port. There's a 100-foot super yacht there waiting for him, and we're heading over to the Amalfi Coast to a thing called Bunga Bunga Central. Anyway, a lobster there as well, and a bottle of Chateau Rothschild, and we can drink it out of my shoe if you want to. Anyway, discuss the whole thing. Thanks, Rod. How's it going? This is Roy Keane, enjoying the podcast, to be fair. I heard you have Roddy Doyle on. I'm out in Tuscany at the moment on a 2-week break on holiday from the overlap. They're looking for a replacement. Roddy, they're looking for somebody outspoken, colourful, controversial. You might fit the bill at the end of the day. Any chance you could grow a beard, develop a funny laugh, and just change that poxy accent as well, just tone it down from Dublin, maybe a bit more Cork? The lads would love to see it. Thanks. How are you, Mario? Bertie Ahern here, and enjoying the podcast. And I know Roddy Collins, and myself as a great football man. And Roddy, I'm making a run for the Oris this year. The people haven't announced it yet, but it's happening. I'm thinking of reinstating the Bertie Bowl. I need a good man to head it up, a good dub. A man who knows his way around Dublin all the way out to Abbottstown. And if you could possibly, would you be interested? I'd love to work with you. I know we have a great relationship going back in the past. Thanks.
And I think Roddy would be a great replacement for Roy on the overlap. Anyway, exclusive comedy every week on the Mario Rosenstock podcast. And you can get in touch with me personally, Mario Rosenstock at gmail.com. You can get in touch with me about anything. You can get in touch with me about the podcast. You can get in touch with me about my tours. You can get in touch with me about sketches that you want me to write, new characters that you'd love to see, new guests that you might like to see, constructive criticism, or even just downright old-fashioned, unabashed compliments about the podcast. And please, if you can, if you enjoy the podcast, tell one other person about the podcast and see if they like it. I've been getting loads of emails from people who are around the world who have told just one other person about the podcast, and that's how they got into it. Thank you so much for doing that, and I get back to all the emails that are sent to me. And thanks, of course, to my great sponsor, deluxebathrooms.ie. Their all-star August sale is on right now, and it must end on August Bank Holiday Monday, and you can get up to 70% off Europe's biggest bathroom brands. Transform your bathroom for less. Upgrading your bathroom doesn't have to be expensive. Why not capitalise on these amazing offers while they last? You can easily transform your bathroom into what you've always dreamed of. Deluxebathrooms.ie. They're in Eastgate Retail Park, Little Island in Cork, Dundalk Retail Park in Dundalk. Make your dream bathroom a reality now with Deluxe Bathrooms. And thank you so much to Deluxe Bathrooms and Martin and all the guys up there for being such a faithful sponsor to us. And they're going to be with us at least till the end of this year. And it's great to know that. Okay, let's cross over to the GoLoud studio and meet the one and only Roddy Collins. He's been keeping as busy as ever since we last caught up here on the podcast. One of the things he's been doing has been spending a few months of the year in Spain. So that's where we started.
I went out, I go out on a holiday, and then I said to Caroline broke her neck. So I says, right, Spain might be good for you. So I went out and I rented a house I could have a house for 7 months or 11 months. Pardon me. So I took it 2 years ago from April till the 1st of November. I've been doing that since.
Okay, why?
Why? Because it's calm.
Where is it?
Cambrils.
Where's that?
It's the port of Cambrils. It's down from Salou and up from, it's an hour's walk from Salou.
If Spain is a square, where is it on the square?
It's on the square. It's up in Dundalk.
Okay, so it's Alicante.
Yeah, and if you went further, it's
Barcelona.
Yeah. Fly into Barcelona for €11.
Okay.
€11. I got a taxi in Dublin
Right.
on my house into the airport. It was 28 quid. I gave the chap 35 to get a pint. And, well, not a pint in town, but get a pint somewhere for €7. Right?
Dundalk.
I got 2 flights for €11 each, wheeling, they call it. And the train down for €10 each. It was cheaper,
I know.
right?
To get from Dublin to Barcelona.
You get up in the morning and you go, will I turn right or will I turn left? I'm up to a kilometre and a half sea swimming. One of my dreams is to do the Levy swim. Because I remember Chalky White doing it, and I remember the May fella doing it and looking down, and all my grandkids and have a picture of it.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that.
No, but what are you doing? Hold on. Why are you going to Spain?
Why am I going to Spain? I don't know, a bit of peace, I think.
From who?
From probably all my kids and grandkids. They followed me out. You know, I don't know. I'm
They
very
probably
relaxed.
they probably want to be around you more now that you're out in sunny Spain.
Yeah, they do, because they all come out to me last week. And I come home and haven't seen them since. Like when I'm away,
Yeah.
Dad, we never see you, Granddad, we never
Yeah.
see you, blah, 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 blah. And then I come home.
But what are you
never
doing out in Spain? Like, I don't want to, like, sorry, have you ever seen the film Sexy Beast?
I've only ever seen about 3 films in my life. And
Okay,
one of them was, I was made go, I done it on the radio the other day, I was made go to see Where Do I Begin? No, it wasn't. It was Love, what was it? Memories, Redford and Barbra
Streisand.
Streisand.
The Way We Were.
That was one. The Raging Bull, I've watched at least 100
De Niro.
in my own cinema.
Jake LaMotta.
Jim. I met Jake, had breakfast with him. So, yeah, I No, I didn't see that film. Sorry.
Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to get that film out and watch it on Netflix or whatever. It's called Sexy Beast.
Sexy Beast.
Sexy
Yeah.
Beast.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a mob crime thriller.
Yeah.
Right? It's about a Londoner,
Yeah.
right, shaping and shifting,
Yeah.
right, but he's finished. He's retired.
Yeah.
And he's going to move to Spain. Right? And he's out. And then one of his old friends comes back to Spain and says, we got one last job. One last job. And he goes, no, mate.
It wasn't the Hatton heist, was it?
I'm out, mate. And he goes, you're not out. You're in. No, I'm out. You're in. I'm out. You're in. No. Yes. No. Yes. You're in. So it's a brilliant film, and I encourage you to watch it. That's my image of you.
Yeah, but it's not me out there. I'm down to indigenous people. There's no tourists. I'm with all the little
indigenous people.
I'm very big out there because they're all that bleach. No, I am. I'm 6 foot. They're all down in. They're all Catalonians. Different language, different dialogue.
Yeah, that's right. Catalan. And País Basco.
Yeah, they get a little bit offended if you. Well, I'm only trying to learn.
They want to be free of Spain.
Oh, big time. Like buen dia is good morning. Buenos dia is Spanish, right? And botel is Spanish for bottle. Bocelli, I asked for now. So and they go, I'm only learning word by word. I'm fluent in origin wine. You know Bochel.
No, you are in Sexy Beast. I'm telling you, got to watch Sexy Beast.
I will. I'm going to be in Vinny Jones. Vinny's bringing me on to his farm.
I didn't realise that you were such close friends with Vinny Jones.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How did you guys meet even?
I'll tell you how I met. The night Tyson bit the ear off Evander Holyfield.
Right, that's in mid-90s.
Mid-90s. I was at the fight, and afterwards shootings everywhere because these rappers were all shooting each other. Big commotion.
Yeah.
Anyway, fella said to me, there's a famous footballer down in the Circus Holden Court. Who's he? Vinny Jones. I played in England at a lower level, just I missed his league by maybe a year or two or whatever. And I always thought I'd have a go off him. He's fancy as a hard man. So anyway, I went down and he was holding court in a pair of football shorts. And I went down and he goes, fucking hell, fucking Collins, the boxer. I said, no, the lover. So we just, when you meet someone.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah.
And we spent the whole night, up all night. He'd take a drink then, and I used to take a drink, and I still do. But anyway, up all night, and that was on a weekend. The following Saturday, Stephen was fighting in Glasgow, and my other brother was on the bill as well, Pascal, we call him. And Vinny said, I'm coming over. And he brought Tanya, God rest her soul. And Tanya, I know the way you meet couples. And I could meet you and we go on. And then the two women, I don't like him, he doesn't like her. And it doesn't work. The minute Tanya walked in, her and Caroline, like that.
Yeah.
So regards to me and Vinny's relationship, they had a brilliant relationship.
Yeah, okay.
So it just matured from that. And then he'd bring me over to, here's Vinny, right? Here's how he goes. This is what, Wednesday. Friday. All right, Rod. Yeah, all right, Vin, what's crack? What are you doing tomorrow? So nothing really. Okay, there's 2 flights booked for young Caroline. Henry was his driver, chauffeur. Pick you up in Stansted or Luton because he was in Watford, and we're going out for a day out. Or we're going to a party, or we're going to the dogs, or we're going to the races, and he'd be 2 days on the drink.
Jesus.
That was mad.
What a great time. Life is good. Spain for 7 months. Ireland for...
I was home for the communion, and I was home for a party.
Yeah.
And I'm going back maybe next Tuesday or Thursday, I'll see. And then I'm home for other bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And I got my bloods done this morning.
Yeah.
I'm going to live wherever.
Good man, yeah. Yeah, you're looking absolutely smashing now.
I'm going to live forever.
You've one of the best hairlines I've ever seen. There's not one blade of that hair is ever falling out. It's like you're like a gonk.
But
you're like one of them yokes that you see in a shop that you win in a competition, in one of those, in a fair. I'll have that yoke at the back. With the hair stitched onto it.
No, Mario, truthfully, right? There's a girl called Rose Boyle Hair. She comes to the house and does that, and I didn't get it done for 6 weeks. I was away for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So there's not one hair in my head died. I'm 65 on the 8th of August.
Yeah.
And that's only 5 kids.
If I could describe it to the listeners, right? Your hair isn't modern either. It isn't like you don't.
All over the gap, is it?
No, it's not modern. It's not like a fade or anything like that. You look like you are You look like you're in 1996. That's your hair at the moment.
Is that an Oasis hairstyle?
Not really. No, more like if Rick Astley had made it to 1996.
Gee, I'm not happy with that now.
No, you're not red. It's like if Rick Astley's hair was brown. Yeah. And he had still been singing in 1996. Or you look like you're in Prefab Sprout or something.
Well, when I left the house, I didn't look all them things. I thought I looked like something out Sopranos.
And a fantastic pair of glasses.
The wind coming into the car.
So listen. What else? I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about a load of things. So you wrote The Rodfather, and did that do well for you?
It sold out twice.
Yeah.
And it won an audio book.
Can I ask you a personal question about that?
Of course, can.
When you write a book like The Rodfather, does it make a few quid for you? Does it?
I got 50 grand.
That's good.
It's declared, by the way.
Yeah. The way you said that.
I remember.
You said that as if you were talking directly to the tax man. You had an awful sneer on your face. It's fucking declared, by the way. Yeah.
But no, I remember when it came around, it was coming to Christmas.
Yeah.
And I got a phone call.
Do you have artist exemption?
What's that mean?
The fucking tax.
I don't know.
Okay, let me tell you about that, right? And you can buy me 5 pints for the process for the thing.
No problem.
Have you got an accountant?
Yeah, top
Right.
man.
Tell your accountant to apply immediately for your artist's exemption on tax.
Yeah, right.
So all authors,
Yeah,
right, of creative works,
Yeah.
which yours definitely is because it's the story of your life,
yeah. Half it.
and that's even more creative.
you the half in?
half made up. It's fiction, right? The whole
No,
thing.
I have to correct you on that. I was out on picnic, what's it called that?
Electric picnic.
Electric picnic last year.
I'm actually the Roddy whisperer. I know what he's saying before he says, I was out at the chomp chomp. What's that? The electric picnic.
But anyway, and I was walking around, me and Paul Howard couldn't get in, trying to climb over the wall. He wouldn't do it. I'm game, he wouldn't. He's the most organised, honest, obedient person on the planet. I was getting over the wall, we were late to go on the stage. Fella comes by in a Jeep too. I was, all right, Rod. How are you, pal? What's the crack? You all right? Yeah. Went in to get your book last week, couldn't find it. I said, where were you looking for it? He said, sport. I said, fiction. You were at the wrong.
There you go, Rod. You have that line in line.
There you go.
Number. But come here. So I'm just saying that the revenue allow authors to write off €50,000
a year.
a year.
Even if you only write one book.
Yep.
So for the rest of my life, I'm tax exempt for 50 grand.
No, yeah, but you would have to be showing the revenue that you got more. You're still an author, as in. So in other words, for
That was a one-off.
well, then you should have got a 50,000 tax exemption.
Well, look, I don't know. Caroline's a bookkeeper. She was a bookkeeper in Guinness's and the gas company.
It was Charlie Hawley brought it in.
Did he?
So Charlie
Yeah,
Charlie Hawley brought it in, right? And I think at the beginning it was nearly unlimited. You could, as an artist. So this was brought in for like sculptors and painters and poets because they earned so little.
Yeah.
And Charlie Hawley said we should encourage the arts in Ireland and we should unlimited. And then I think it was reduced to about 250,000. And then I think it was further reduced to 50,000.
Yeah.
But 50,000 is still a
But
substantial
Mario,
amount of money.
I think it's right because honestly, my probably naivety growing up.
Yeah.
If I see something on the telly, including you,
Yeah.
right, I don't know anyone's business, I automatically, when I was a kid in Canberra,
Yeah.
and Frankie Grimes was an actor back in the day,
Yep.
and he was on Glen Rowe and the Readings and all. When I seen him, he was a millionaire. He lived across the road.
Yeah.
I used to think, he's a millionaire.
But Roddy.
These fellas have
Everybody
their
thinks
shilling.
you're a millionaire if you're on TV, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I was on Glen Rowe and I went into McDonald's once, right? And I ordered a Big Mac and fries. And basically a crowd gathered around me. I went, what is he doing in McDonald's? Well, like, it must be hard times if he's in McDonald's. I thought he was a millionaire. I thought he had a yacht.
I have one.
Yeah, you have a yacht.
I'll show you the picture later on. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine. But no, I hit bad times, and I was driving a Kia car, the size of that desk, tiny little Kia, and I was at the traffic lights up and just coming into Auburn Avenue up near Castleknock, and a big Range Rover pulled up beside me, and a sneer in it looked at me. Hey, Collins, what's the crack? How you doing? Yeah. You fell off your high horse there, didn't you, pal? I went, yeah. I still get to where I'm getting to. Yeah, where'd it all go wrong? I said, I don't know. You know me, I'm up and I'm down, and that's it. God rest his soul. Right? He died penniless. He lost his company, he lost everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, material things. I was that man, Mario. I drove the Mercs, the S-Class Mercs, and I couldn't afford the petrol.
Yeah, yeah.
And I wore the Rolex and I couldn't afford the suit. I'd have to go into Louis and get it on the knock.
Yeah.
The weekly. And I thought that was, and then you realise, you get says, what the hell about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
ups and downs of life. The ups
Yeah.
and downs of life, Roddy. And come here. Listen, there's a couple of things that actually I might as well pick your brain about, because we did so much chatting in the last podcast that I don't want to go over that subject again.
Yeah.
So I want to talk maybe new stuff with you. What do you think of Damien Duff, his and his impact on the League of Ireland? And what do you think of the League of Ireland and the fact that, from my perspective anyway, over the last 2 or 3, 4 years, the League of Ireland seems to have had a much bigger a surge in popularity. So talk to me about the League of Ireland and talk to me about Damien Duff.
Well, Damien Duff, I'm his biggest fan. I wrote an article about him 2 weeks ago I actually called him the night he resigned. And when he came into the league, I said, this is not going to last. And no disrespect to Damien, I thought, he's been at the top end of elite sport in the Premier League, in the UK and in the national team, and he's going to come down and work with people who are good, honest, incompetent people, but he's going to have to work with them, and this is going to totally and completely frustrate him and drive him mad, as it did me, and I didn't come from the high bar he did. So, and then I followed him, and then I went to his games. I did a start going to Talca Park, and then I studied him in the dugout, and then I listened, and then I inquired with some of his players who I got to know, and he is, for me, the future Ireland manager, and could possibly, I believe, and I know the business, I think, he could possibly be a Premier League manager in England, if he so wants to be. I
don't think he seems if he wants to be. I get from the media reports that I read about him, I understand, I understand that he's a little bit of a home bird.
Yeah.
He likes Ireland.
Well, you can be a home bird, Mario, when you have young children.
Yeah.
But then, look, I'm a home boy, but I'm out in Spain.
Does he have young children?
I think he has young children, yeah. So that can be, he's financially secure.
He is.
A little bit of a hobby it was for him. He loved it. He enjoyed it. But like everything else, even in a marriage, if you give 100% and you're getting 60% back, the marriage is going to break down. It's the same in football. If you're giving all your energy, and I watched Damien, he gave every ounce he had, 24/7, to that group of lads. And they're all great lads. I know most of them. But they didn't have the ability to give it back. And when that comes...
Still won a league.
Yeah, no, I don't mean that way. No, Damien won them that league.
Do you think?
100%, because I watched, they weren't the best team in the league, they weren't the best players in the league, but he was the best tactician.
How did he, was he?
He's brilliant.
So you're saying, because from an outsider like me, right?
Yeah.
If you asked me the question, how did Damien Duff win Shelbourne the league? I would have answered, well, I guess they respected him so much and he inspired them so much that they went out and they gave more than 110%. They bled Shelbourne and they gave 120%, and maybe 11 men on the pitch became 13 men. That's how they did it. But you're saying, no, he was a great tactician.
No, every team at the top end does that.
Okay.
But there has to be something different. So
you're saying he has a good football brain?
Brilliant. Yeah, because when I managed, I always looked at the tactical side of it from the boxing as well.
Yeah.
And when I watched Damien, I went to see his first ever friendly game, and it was in the AUL. And I just wanted to see how he set his team up. It's not competitive, but it's pre-season. And looked at and then when I seen him in games, and I'd done some of them live on the television, when I seen him in games, and I seen a fault early, and I thought, oh, jeez, next of all, Damien to change it.
Right.
No, not equal.
So he's seeing it. He's
seen it.
Yeah.
And the proof is in the pudding. When Damien made a tactical switch, whether it was personnel or whether it was tactical, it improved them.
All right. So you're saying this fella is smart. Duffer
very
is smart.
Brilliant motivator.
Yeah.
Like the players he had, I would say, the top 3 teams last year in the league, probably half these players wouldn't get into.
Right, fair enough. That's a great observation.
Yeah, so he brought them together as a unit.
Thank you.
All your stuff you said, Mario, about enthusiasm, about desire.
That as well.
But look, that alone is not going to win you a league.
No.
You'll draw to have that.
Yeah.
You'll finish in the top 3 or 4 maybe. But you have to have the other tactical nous as well.
Yeah.
And to be able to see a situation before everyone else sees it.
Gotcha.
Correct.
All right.
Before it's too late. And
let's move on then, because I want to move on from that to the next corollary of that, the follow on from that, which is, you just said it there. You said, I would hope or I think that Damien might be the new Irish manager. Okay, the next Irish manager, or down the line the Irish manager.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I wanted to ask you, like, what's been going on with the Irish national team in the last 6 to 7 years, or really rather since we qualified for the last tournament in France in 2016? What's going on with the Irish national team now? Should we should we be in a position where at least we're getting closer to qualification for some of these tournaments? I mean, some people would argue it's not that hard at the moment to qualify for some of these tournaments. You're getting in, they're taking the first two, then you get a playoff. And should we be qualifying? Should we be doing better? I noticed Northern Ireland a few years ago with Michael O'Neill had players, I didn't know any of them, but they were on top of the table.
Yeah.
They were. What do you think, Roddy?
Well, look. People think I have a personal vendetta against Stephen Kenny. I haven't. He's a gentleman, a good family man, and I've great admiration on that end of it. From a football perspective, we all have a ceiling to reach. In every sport, we've reached our limits, and I think Stephen's ceiling is League of Ireland, and he will prove that at Pat's. International football was way beyond his qualities, in my opinion, and he was exposed on many occasions. And I used to forensically examine every game, play back, look at tactics and that, and you could see the lack of what Damien had, Stephen didn't have. And I don't think anyone in League of Ireland football, and this is not contradicting what I said about Damien, can be classed as somebody who's qualified to manage a national team. It's totally different. It's like if you go into a boxing ring and you're at a certain level, every time you step up, seconds or minutes become seconds, because if you don't see something, you get knocked out. Football pitch, the same international football. We played against Serbia. We were 1-0 up at half time. I'm watching it, watching the clock, watching everything. They come out, put 3 against our back 3. We leave this is a bit tactical, but we leave our wing backs up the pitch and we're away from home. Instead of tucking them in, keeping it right for 20 minutes, it was a disaster. And I called it, and I think it was 67 minutes. Anyway, 3-1 to get one back. So stuff like that. And we didn't qualify because when Stephen went in, he was more like a development manager for the future, and that will probably be proven with the players that he did introduce and give caps to further down the road.
Do you think we have a good squad of
I think we have a very good squad.
Do you? So you think that there's, let's say if you had to pick 30 players there and put them in a pool, you think out of that 30 players there's a good 11 there somewhere? And a good 15, a good 16.
There's a competent 11, and that will always be gauged on the amount of Premier League players we have, and we've a good few of them with good experience as well. We've an abundance of goalkeepers. We, our strikers, we're just waiting for them to fire. I don't think Oida is the answer, and I'm a Celtic supporter.
He is the answer?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think he's not for getting us goals.
Who do you think is the answer in the current 30, 35 players?
Well, the other kid, Ferguson, Obafemi, look, they'll all have contributions to make. Yeah. But if there's a go-to man, we don't really have one at the moment. Yeah. Now, we're all banking on that kid Ferguson, who's only a kid. And he's still to hit the ground. I hope he goes to Roma, and I hope he does.
Is that a possibility?
Well, that's where he wants to go, and they want him.
Okay.
So that's the way it's looking. So looking down the road, I think you're a great manager now, by the way.
Oh, right. So you like Hallgrimsson?
I do indeed.
Okay. Do you think there's some hope in his performances so far?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
He's very pragmatic. We played the coach's manual football under Stephen Kenny, which was a disaster. Yeah. Pass for the sake of passing sideways and backwards. Yeah. He doesn't do that. Yeah. We get it for. And he plays to the strength of the players we have. And we are more competitive at the moment. And I think there is a future there for us. And I think he's a very good manager. And you can see through people when they talk about the game, if they're winging it, protecting their position as manager and trying to get longevity out of it, or you can see if they really believe in what they're trying to do. And I believe in what he's trying to do, and I think he believes in it as well. And I think we've the players to develop that, and I think we'll have a good future.
Interesting. Your son Podge is a professional boxer.
He is.
Tell me about that. And do you ever worry about him?
No, not in the ring. Outside the ring. Look, he was 22 stone. He was apprentice.
What?
22 stone. He boxed in my gym.
Is he heavyweight?
He's heavyweight now, but he's down to cruiser at the minute.
What weight is that? About 15 or 14?
Yeah, he's 15 stone now at the minute.
Wow.
He how can I say? He came into my gym when he was a kid, and he had a few rounds with a few people. And I remember him one day. He's the biggest gentleman you'll ever meet. Remember him one day. Had a little bit of a knock with a kid. He's only about 12, and the man got the better of him, and he took the gloves off, threw them down, and that was it. He never came back to the boxing club, and I left him. I've no problem with that. So he marched along, played a bit of football, always carried a good bit of weight, likes his bit of grub. And I remember playing a game of football, and his manager said he's brilliant there, but he doesn't like the running around aspect of it. We're always cool.
But does he have a bit of talent?
Well, I'll put you this way, right?
You're allowed to say it if you did.
Well, I go, it's my son.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen Collins and my brother Pascal Collins are the ones that came to me and said, Rod, there's something there.
Is there?
You need to get him. And I'll give you one story that'll finish the whole story.
Yeah.
Right. He'd go up to the gym, he wasn't consistent, getting to move around, and everyone's, and then suddenly he come home to me, he says, Dad, we'll have a chat with Pascal, he's protecting me, won't let me box, won't let me spar during the day. I said, Pascal, let him get a few thumps and he might give her up. No, he says, Rod, he's going through all these lads, he said. All in his own level, but he's going through them all. He's a bit of spy. There was a gentleman outside of me. Anyway, so one day he was lying on the chair. Stephen Pascal rang me. He says, Rod, is Portick around? I need a heavyweight to spar. Had been in the gym for 4 months. Right? And I went, well, he's asleep in the sofa there. He says, ask him. Says, yeah, no problem. Jumped up in the shower, put his training gear on. Within 30 minutes of getting the call, he was in the ring with a top 10 world contender for the light heavyweight division. And he done 4 3-minute rounds and held his own and gave him something. So then he boxed in Birmingham. Stephen went and he came to me and says, Rod, let me work with him. So I just said, look, I'm the football man. You're the boxing man. So he's having his 4th professional fight the 10th of October.
Okay.
He's won his first 3 in the calendar year.
Cruiser or heavy?
Cruiserweight.
Yeah.
He's down. He's lost 7 stone.
Yeah.
He's, right now, he started training camp.
And is he called Podge?
Well, unfortunately, his Portick is his name, and my wife's gone mad. But Podge is the name on his shorts, and Podge is what they call him in his ring entrance. And it's just, honestly, if I brought him in here, he's the least likeliest individual. He's the most kindest, gentlest, cuddly gentleman on the planet. When he gets in the ring, oh my God.
You said spite.
He has a spite.
I love that word.
And that was said to me, Roddy has spite in him.
Yeah, yeah.
And when he gets in,
Where does that spite come from, Rod?
I think it's in us all.
Yeah.
I think it's in there. I think it's a competitive.
But it's not. The spite doesn't necessarily. For example, I'm very fascinated by these things.
Yeah.
The spite doesn't necessarily come from. Yeah, I got the spite because my father beat me up when I was 2.
No.
It doesn't necessarily come from that. It's something that's naturally in us, maybe.
Yeah, it's a competitiveness, and it's a nature of. Well, I'll go in and share the ring, and I've shared the ring many times. But if he gets above his station there now, it goes into a different.
When you say spite in boxing terms, 'cause I know you're using that in a kind of a boxing way.
Yeah.
Do you mean does the spite mean reflect? I hate being beaten, and I'm not going to be beaten. Or I love giving a bit of punishment.
No.
What is it?
No, the first one.
I just don't want to be
Yeah,
beaten.
not giving a bit of punishment. They don't do that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen him hit fellas. He hit a fella in his last fight, and you could have hit him again. The chap is on his way down anyway.
Yeah.
And
so it's not. I don't want to be beaten.
Don't want to be beaten.
I'm not lying down.
Oh no. And the thing about it is, and Stephen had it as well, Pascal, and apparently I had it in football and in boxing, and he definitely has it, that everything's grand, everything's hunky dory, and you're on top and everything's great, and then someone gets a little bit above the station, and then you just thinks, I don't know what it is, it's just like, hold on a minute. I'm not having that.
Brilliant. I'm going to skip subjects again because I think this is the best way to handle interviews with you. Or else you can talk about one subject for 4 hours. So I'm going to have to discipline you. I have to use a bit of spite, Rod. A bit of spite to keep you honest. One of your good friends is Paul Howard.
Yeah.
The satirist, the author, the comic author, who I know very well as well.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I'm actually collaborating with him on something myself, which
Brilliant.
I don't want to talk about yet. I'll talk about it off air with you.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's very exciting for me personally anyway, because of the subject matter that we're collaborating on is something really cool, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, you are very friendly with him. How did that happen?
Look, back to the boxing. Stephen was on the road to becoming a world champion. He was a junior reporter for a couple of different papers, and we met him. I think Paul reckons it was in New York, and me and Carolyn were going to bed after another win, a good celebration, and he was sitting in the corner. And if you know Paul, I know him 30 odd years. He looked about 15 when he was 20. The Milky Bar Kid, we nicknamed him. And I remember going up, and Karen says, that kid should be in bed. And I says, I went over, so he grew up to bed, you. He says, I don't have a bed, I'm sleeping here. So I went over to Karen and says, kid's no bed. She says, what? So we had one of them big rooms with a single bed, a double bed, single bed. So made a bed in the corner for him, threw him in, and that was it. So from every trip after that with the lads then, everywhere we went, like, since Paul became famous, he slept on 1,000 floors on our trips, but he didn't. He slept on mine, right? But, that Paul Howard, I remember when we were in Milan and he'd no room and he slept on my floor. He wasn't, he was on my floor. Yeah. You know the way everyone was at Mill Street, you know? Yeah. But he was just the most inoffensive, how can I say, Right, we played a game of football in Milan against the reporters out there, and he wouldn't refuse to play, even though he only had a pair of cowboy boots on. He's just the most kindest, inoffensive. Like when we were doing the bookies in my house, and Caroline's
When
a
you do the
feeder.
what?
Right in the book.
Book, okay.
Caroline's a feeder, right? So anyone that comes into my house gets fed,
Yeah.
even if you don't want it. Right, and Caroline, if you take the force on Caroline, go, is that nice? Can you taste the pepper and all that? Here's everyone. So anyway, Paul's first day he came and he had a big feed and the whole lot, and that was it. So the next week he arrived. When he arrived, I said, "Can I have a word? I hope I'm not offending anyone here." And I said, "Well," he says, "Is it okay if I don't have my meal here today?" And I went, "Oh, Caroline won't be happy. She'd be very offended thinking that I was." And I was like, he says, "No." He said, "I'd booked a meal that night last Friday with 10 people." He says, "Look, I couldn't even eat starters." So that's offensive.
Yeah.
But as I always say, Paul Howard is the most talented, funniest comedy. I don't laugh. I laugh at you. I'm not just saying that because I'm here. I do. I laugh at you, right? Especially when you're Miriam. Not Miriam. Miriam O'Callaghan.
Genuinely laugh.
Brilliant.
Do you like me with my blonde hair?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Now, me and Caroline, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's...
You know, some men have come over to me, Rod, after shows.
Yeah.
And they're going, listen, that was a great show. I hope you're not offended when I say this, but I'd nearly give you one. You're
not that good now.
I've had that said to me so many times that there's lads out there going, I swear, if I had about 8 points, I'd say you're a 7-pointer. I'm a 7-pointer as Miriam.
Oh, Jesus. But getting back to it, Larry and Hardy, but Paul had come to the house and we'd sit down, right? And next of all, Caroline would come in and say, he's writing the book. Like, this be 9 o'clock, it'd be hitting 10:30, 11:15. Yeah. And when Paul tells a story, he stands up.
Yeah, me too.
And I stand up,
yeah.
and I throw shapes, and he throws shapes. There's nothing getting done. This going on. Anyway, but look, he's just brilliant. He's just brilliant.
In the way he's like his beautiful little dog, the beagle.
Stop, don't talk about the dogs.
I know.
They died.
I know that. But
I didn't think that was a big deal.
Well, it was, because I saw then a big article about it in the newspaper.
But I didn't think it was a big... I said, it's only a dog, you know?
I know, but this was his companion. He used to sit there while he...
No, he's lost 2 more.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I told him last week. He bought 2 more dogs.
Oh, gone.
And I said, I was out walking. I says, I said, did you have a funeral? Did you have a wake? Blah, blah, blah. Here's Caroline to me. No, Rod, stop. And then when I did eventually Caroline, I said, Paul, are you upset? So I'm really upset, Rod. I said, it's only a dog. A dog will run over you and scratch and you rub on his head and all. He looks at you and you think, jeez, he loves me. 2 months later, someone else rubs me, forgets about you. It's a dog. I don't care. No dogs.
He loved those dogs.
And he did.
What do you think of this FIFA World Club Championships?
Joke. Absolute joke. Players getting flogged to the bone. It's going to be a disaster.
Did you see the meme of Cole Palmer looking at Trump?
No.
Okay, so Trump appears on stage to present them with the trophy.
Yeah.
And there's this photograph of Cole Palmer looking at Trump like, right, basically, how the fuck did this orange yolk get onto the thing? But Cole Palmer at the best of times has a stupid looking face on him.
But can I ask something?
What?
Is that an act?
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
Cole Palmer.
Is he acting the act?
I think he is.
Couldn't be that.
He is.
To be that lacking and
He's
that good
acting
on a
it.
football pitch.
No, he's got a bit of a gormless face.
Yeah.
But he's smart.
He's clever.
He must be.
Good. He can't
Do
be
you
that.
remember? I'm of the opinion, right, that I don't know if it's okay. You'd know this better than me, right? But I have a theory. Right?
Yeah.
'Cause I love sport and I love sports psychology.
Yeah.
And you know that we don't know a lot on Earth about all the different levels of intelligence
Right.
in humans. We know mathematical intelligence.
Of course, yeah.
We know Johnny in your class, an honours maths, who got 100. We know he's good at maths.
Yeah.
We also don't know if Johnny is really intelligent, though. We know he's good at maths.
Yeah.
But there's lots of different types of intelligence.
Of course, yeah.
So, for example, one type of intelligence, which is becoming much more important now in the workplace and around the world, is what we call emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
The ability to be able to read a room.
Yeah.
Are you able to go into a room with strangers and figure out who's who, and know what buttons to press?
Yeah.
This is key to getting on in life.
Yeah.
Other types of intelligence, call them sporting intelligence. There are people in the world who they call it, I don't know, they're just smart on a football pitch.
Yeah.
They're smart. They get it.
I've had them.
To wit, someone like Wayne Rooney. And the reason I say Wayne Rooney is, if you asked an average punter on the street, Wayne Rooney, they'd go, bit of a knacker, tick.
Yeah.
Right? So they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Right? They wouldn't know how smart you have to be to understand shapes, peripheral vision, distance measurement, almost predictive intelligence. Yeah. They're just so smart. People like Ronaldo, Messi, they must be smart. Roy Keane. Yeah. You know, you see Roy Keane talking, you realise he's not a thick idiot. You know, and so a lot of big sports people are smart.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they use multisyllabic words or polysyllabic words, but they're smart. Yeah. And it's interesting, isn't it? The idea.
Well, I was a plasterer on a building site, and the boss man had a nephew who was in third level education at the time, and he put him on the site for the summer with us. And I was I'm uneducated. I got 3 passes in my group. I was with other uneducated people, as we may be called. We don't know what education is now, obviously. And he was the thickest on the whole site. He was the thickest. Lovely kid, thickest. But I hung around with a lad who we used to play Dawn. I don't know if you know the card game Dawn.
No.
It's a very, very, very complex game.
All right.
Yeah. This fella never went to school. And I mean never. Could barely read or write. When the game was going on, he could read every card. He had a memory, he had a photographic memory and that, and he would very, very rarely slip up. And if all the cards were put down, he could say, I know what you have. It's a complicated. So I had players like that. I had players that were like, every dressing room has a trigger. You know, Dave Elf.
Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, trigger. Every dressing room has a trigger. And most triggers
he said, what was the thing
players.
he said about his mop? He said, I had the same mop for
yard
trigger.
brush.
Huh?
The yard brush.
The yard brush. He said the same yard brush for 20 years. All he changed was the top and the stick.
That's 17 times. And how do you know it's the same one? Look at it in the photograph. It's in the photograph. But every dressing room has one of them. And if you see a fella, like I played football with a fella who bought a pair of cowboy boots and got one off. You know, he got one off?
Yeah.
And then realised with the stock and he couldn't get the other one off.
Yeah.
So he cut it down with scissors. He was best player. He was best player, but he was a trigger. Like, but as you say, that's intelligence.
Yeah.
And I've walked. My father went to school till he was about 14. He was one of the most intelligent humans you could meet. As you say, he couldn't use the like that. My biggest regret in life, and it was probably held me back a lot in life, was my inferiority complex in around educated people.
Yeah.
I felt that. And I'm only coming out of it now in my areas. I don't care now because, you know, but you know, you'd see people and...
Education is overrated, Roddy. What education does, and from my experience, right, so I went to school, I did my leaving, I got a good degree in Trinity.
Yeah.
What education does is actually more than anything, it proves to you. I was there, I saw these people.
Yeah.
They're not that hot. They're just the same as the rest of us.
Yeah.
But when you don't get that education...
Yeah.
You walk into rooms and you're surrounded by people who have the degrees.
Yeah.
And you're not sure then.
Big time.
Maybe they have something on me. What did they learn in that place?
Yeah.
How smart are they? Maybe I wasn't smart. Maybe I couldn't have even got in.
Yeah.
What you learn, what it proves to you was, being there, done that, it's no big shakes.
No. Well, my daughter, she has a master's in trauma-based education. She got a master's there 2 years ago. She's a secondary school teacher. And she does lectures and the whole lot. And she said to me, Dad, you're as intelligent, more intelligent than most of the people I've went to university with. So don't be putting yourself down, you know. But I don't put myself down.
No, you don't.
I just don't try to be this.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
Johnny Giles retired from football, commentary, punditry, just last couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
84 he is.
Brilliant.
You have a little story about Johnny, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Johnny was the manager of the international under-18 team, youth team they called it back then. I was in the squad. Eamon Dumpy was there and Ray Tracy was there. They were the backroom team. And the day before the game against Belgium, I was picked because I was in all the set plays and the whole lot. And so the day of the game, the team was announced in the hotel up in Drumcondra and I wasn't picked. And I sat there and Johnny went through everyone and he came to me and he said, if you need to come on, you understand? And I went, fuck that. And I walked out. That's the biggest regret in my life. I said, fuck that, I did. And I walked out, went home, took on my blazer, my slacks off and put my civvies back on and paid 50 pence. Remember the little 50 pence piece?
Yeah.
Paid it back into Daily Mail. Pardon me. And my dad and all my uncles and cousins, half the building site was there to see me. And I walked up and sat beside me, go, what's going on? I said, I was playing, then he made me a sub. My dad said, come on, we'll all go. And that was it, yeah. And then they came to the house that night in Cabra with my passport. And it was a man called John Wilkes. He was the liaison officer for the FBI. And he said, do you want us to hold that for your next game? We're playing away, the second leg in Belgium. No, give me my passport. Honestly, like it was how can I say, it was credit in the bank if you're in international football. I was going to England on trials at the time. So if you had an international cap, you know what I mean, they gave you credit in the bank. So, but look.
Was he a great football man?
Brilliant. Even listening to him 2 weeks ago, he simplifies it. People say the game has changed. No, the game hasn't changed and it never will change. These so-called intellects that have come into the game who hold degrees in education, right, have come in and tried to develop a game to suit their narrative where it's all about money. I've spent £13,000 on acquiring coaching badges that I didn't have when I won the double at Bowes. I didn't have when I kept Carlisle in the league and got into a national final in the Millennium Stadium. And I didn't have when I got the Maltese club into Europe. And I didn't have when I managed in the North and got Bangor into the top 6 when they were rock bottom. But I was told I was not qualified because I didn't have all this. I done all the courses which I had to do it. And I could safely say I did learn a small bit, but it's a cash cow. The biggest earner in the FBI at the minute now is the national team and the coaching, all the education, coach education, and that's where the money is. But Johnny Giles, for me, is brilliant because he doesn't come in with all this new terminology, high block, low block,
false nines.
You know, Mario, honestly,
false nines is a bit of a laugh.
Stop. But you know,
I thought in the 90s when they started when Terry Venables started going about diamond formations, I thought that was a bit ridiculous. But now false nines, you're 9 but you're not a 9.
Well, yeah. And that's why there's no big number 9s left.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and also the game is being changed, the physicality is being taken out of it, and to see fellas rolling around, I don't know,
I love tennis. And I play tennis.
No interest, yeah.
And I play tennis. My daughter plays tennis, and she's good.
Yeah.
She's under 12.
Yeah.
And I play tennis all my life, and I play sort of league tennis and competitive tennis, and I enjoy it. And I'm a big avid watcher of tennis, and I've watched tennis since 1980, approximately 1980, Borg McEnroe 1980. And one of the things I can say as a sports fan, without doubt, is that the best tennis player in the world is the best tennis player in the world.
Right.
There's nobody who could come along and say to Yannick Sinner or Djokovic or Alcaraz, I know a fella out in Darndale.
Yeah.
He'd fucking easily beat you.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't.
Yeah.
There is no chance.
Yeah, I get you. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But this is not the case with football.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I remember hearing a story, this might be apocryphal, but and it's true for a number of reasons, because football is a team game for starters. Injuries have a huge thing in football. Socioeconomic background, your class, your poverty. The world. There's a fella probably somewhere in the Congo, aged 18, who has the most enormous fucking talent in the world, and we've never heard of him.
And you won't.
And you won't.
Yeah.
All right?
Of course.
The same doesn't go for tennis.
Yeah.
The best player is the best player. I mean, I think it might be apocryphal. I remember hearing Paul McGrath talk once, and it was the story went something like this. Who's the best player you ever played with, Paul? Brian Robson? Paul Gascoigne? Liam Brady? And he went, no, a fella called, I can't remember his name. He played for Dalkey United.
Yeah.
Sorry. So you're taking the piss. Yeah. No, he's the best player I ever saw.
Yeah.
Why didn't we ever hear about him then?
Yeah.
He didn't fancy it.
Yeah.
What? He didn't want to play.
Yeah.
What do you mean he didn't want to play? He was a butcher or whatever.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my point is, isn't it interesting that we talk about these fellas handy or he's a great footballer or your man is a great footballer, but actually there's probably been thousands of great footballers, Irish footballers even, who were brilliant, but we never heard of them. Is that true?
Of course, 100%.
Do you know any?
I know loads. And there was plenty of footballers that weren't that good who went on and had a professional career out of it.
Correct.
Like, we all talk about football. People see a ball and they're playing that. But there's so many facets to the game. Like, socially, if you go into a dressing room and you can't mix, well, then you've no chance.
You're gone. Luck is very important as well, isn't it?
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity But when I forged my birth cert, right, and I went over for a trial and come back, and the manager came to see me, Dundalk versus Limerick. I played, it was the luckiest day of my life and the unluckiest on the one day, if that makes any sense, and I'll tell you why. I played that day the best game of football I've ever played in my life. I scored 2. I'd hit a ball to the winger and it spin to the fullback, but it looked like a great ball. And to the naked eye, look and said, geez, what a ball that was. So everything that I'd done, even that was wrong, looked good. So he signed me and he paid a fee for me. And I went over. So his expectation level was on that game. It wasn't possible for me to reach that again. That was just one of my luckiest performances of all time. So getting back, luck is 20% of anything and everything. And I mean, how can I explain it? I had a player called Paddy McCourt. Right, I brought him home. I was manager at Carlisle. The reserves were playing. I went to watch. This kid came out. He was 16, little skinhead. He was the next thing to George Best I've ever seen.
Really?
100%. And I've printed it and said it and everywhere.
Have you?
Oh, yeah.
You said that you're on record as this. This kid,
said it on record.
'cause I've never heard that name. Paddy McCourt. Was he some player, was he?
Well, I'll put you this way. I brought him back to Shamrock Rovers. They went bankrupt. He went to Derry. Derry sold him within a year for $500,000 to Celtic. If you Google him, you'll see some of the best goals ever in any football, right? Even against Spurs in games.
Really?
I wanted to send him to South America.
Why?
Because he was lazy.
Yeah.
He was lazy. I managed in Malta. And when you're in the warm conditions, it's a different game of football.
Yeah.
So the big, robust English, tough guy that's going to get a career in England will have no chance in a technical. Like, I went out to Malta, and my first training session, the lads came out, and it was like Munyana, a little jog there, and I went, stop, listen to me. I said, this is not going to work with me. It's not my mentality. We got to work. We got to chase. We got to close down. And I wasn't thinking, of course. So there's a fella called Manny Roscoe. He was 40, about 2 years of age. He looked about 32. He was a Nigerian. And he goes, Coach, can I speak? Yeah, he said, it's 40 degrees. We'll all die. How stupid was I? Me big sunburned head, but I still haven't got the capacity to realise it's hard to walk. So he educated me on that. So Paddy McCourt, for me, would have been an absolute world superstar in South American football. And that's just luck that he didn't go in the end. Then you had...
So just what happened to him then, for example?
Paddy ended up at Celtic, then Brighton.
Yeah.
Then...
But why didn't he break through? Was it laziness, did you say?
He was lazy.
Yeah.
Laid back and lazy.
And when I say laid back, maybe is lazy an unfair word? Is laid back better?
Laid back, yeah. I was talking to him last week.
Is lazy a bit cruel to say?
Yeah, because he wasn't lazy in training.
Yeah.
But look, let's see. I remember going to Arsenal when I was a kid, and I thought Liam Brady was the laziest footballer I've ever seen in my life. In training, we had to do walls, it was called, and everyone would be 3 walls ahead. Then you put a jersey on and set and you go, he doesn't have to run. He didn't have to run. He had such natural ability.
Yeah.
And Paddy was the same. But you have to understand as a manager, you're talking about management and different personalities and walking into a room. Like you said something earlier about intelligence and able to walk into a room. If you can't walk into a room full of men and within 15 minutes get a fair slant on who the ball, who the ball boys are, who's the smart Dalek, who's the one that's listening, who's the one that's tying his laces, you're dead and buried straight away. So you have to be able to be aware, and that's an intelligence you have to have. And it's the same with players. I mean, I created a position for Paddy, and I think he got about 15 goals for Shamrock Rovers in 20 games. Then he was gone to the North, then he was gone to Celtic. But I created a position for him. I said, Paddy, don't chase anyone, don't tackle, ever give Paddy the ball. If you Google it, you'll go, wow, where did he... So, you know what I mean? It's look, they say in football now, one last one, they say in football now, Mario, if you control the ball, you're fit and athletic, and you can pass it 15 yards sideways and backwards, you can get a career out of the game.
Do you know who said that?
Who?
That pretty much, do you know who said that to somebody else? Somebody famous said that to somebody else famous. You don't know?
I swear to God, I don't know.
Brian Clough. Those were the only words he said at the beginning to Roy Keane when he came over.
Yeah.
He said, all I want you to do is to control the ball, pass it, and run. Can you do that? And Keane said, that's all I listened to.
Yeah.
those three instructions that he said, that was my career.
Yeah.
From beginning to end.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've seen a few interviews. I've seen a few, I've seen a few like little YouTube pullouts of Roy Keane doing stuff. And it depends on what you look at. But I remember when he was at his best playing for, let's say, United in the late 90s, very early 2000s. You notice that nearly whenever he in big games, whenever he gets the ball, nearly all the passes are forward.
Oh, they have to be.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was an Alex Ferguson thing.
Exactly. He was always passing the ball forward. He's looking for the forward ball.
Rio Ferdinand tells a story, and I seen on the telly not so long ago, that his first day in training, he got a ball and he passed it back. He said he was ripped apart by Roy Keane. He's at Man United now.
Right.
But that's my philosophy in the game.
Brilliant, yeah.
I would never allow, and any players play me will tell you,
Yeah.
you could not pass it backwards.
Yeah, okay.
Get the final third, you have to cut it back.
Yeah.
There's the goal.
Yeah.
It's a simple, you know.
Yeah, I know.
There's the goal.
It's up there.
Not that way. Every time you pass the ball that way.
Not that way.
And there's one player in the league, I won't name the kid, good fit, looks the part, has holes cut in the back of his stockings.
What league?
The League of Ireland.
Yeah.
And I watched, and I looked at him, and I said to my son, I'd sack the kit, man. The holes in the back of his stockings, I'd get rid of the kit, man. It's disgraceful looking. And it's a live televised game. What's that all about? I said, that's so you won't get cramp. I said, but you have to run around to get cramp. This kid didn't run 20 yards in the whole first half. But every ball he got, he passed it backwards. So if I was a coach, I would say, when this kid gets the ball, really opposing team against him, let him have the ball, but go to everyone else that hasn't got the ball, because he doesn't have the right and only pass it back and intercept. So that's, that's using your intelligence,
Rod, this has been a completely different conversation to our first one, and you're just a tonic. Do you have anything to sell?
No, we don't. Mario, I just want to sell health. I want to live forever. I want to live forever. No, do you know what, Mario? Brendan O'Connor asked me last week about, what's...
Did he ask you like that, or was he... I think that's really good. How's your mental health there, Rod? Rod, can you talk about COVID? Oh, no, sorry, Rod.
Not to go on your show.
Don't punch me in the face, Rod, please. No. Can I ask you about COVID and mental health?
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, he asked me, and he said, like, what's the crack? What's your advice to everyone? Do you know what it is? Get up in the morning, and wherever how you feel, make it feel better when you go to bed that night.
That's brilliant.
And if you get to 7 o'clock and it's not feeling any better, open a bottle of red wine.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Italian, Spanish, or French?
Wherever you can get your hands on. Once it's organic.
Thank you, Rod.
Top
you are
man,
a genius.
Mario.
You are a genius at life. Thank you for coming in.
That's where we left it with Roddy, but I asked Roddy to stay in the studio a little longer. We were having so much fun to answer a few rapid-fire questions I had for him. We were on a roll at this stage. Like his favourite player of all time, his favourite manager of all time, the player who reminded him most of himself, the League of Ireland's hottest upcoming players, if there's any players in the League of Ireland that can make it really big on the Irish team, and a few other questions like that. And he had some brilliant and funny answers for me, and we got some sidetracked into other areas of conversation. So keep an eye on the channel here, or even better, press the follow button. Press the follow button so that you'll get an alert every time I have a podcast out to follow the series. And we'll have that bonus episode out for you very, very soon. Thank you to Roddy Collins for coming in and talking to me. He is such a tonic, and I mean that. And thank you to my sponsor, deluxebathrooms.ie. Their all-star August summer sale ends on August Bank Holiday Monday, up to 70% off great bathroom stuff and tiles. And thanks, of course, to you, as always, for listening to my podcast. Tell one other person. See you same time, same place next week.